Adumbrate. 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 Describe roughly or give the main points or summary of. Anachronistic. 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 Chronologically misplaced. Bilk. 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 Cheat somebody out of what is due, especially money. Congruity. 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 The quality of agreeing, being suitable and appropriate. Corpulence. 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 The property of excessive fatness. Denigrate. 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 Attack the good name and reputation of someone. Emollient. 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 A substance with a soothing effect when applied to the skin. Heterogeneous. 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 Consisting of elements that are not of the same kind. Linchpin. 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 A central cohesive source of support and stability. Obfuscate. 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 Make obscure or unclear. Pejorative. 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 Expressing disapproval. Pulchritude. 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 Physical beauty, especially of a woman. Serendipity. 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 Good luck in making unexpected and fortunate discoveries. Solipsism. 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 The philosophical theory that the self is all that exists. Vitriolic. 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 Harsh, bitter, or malicious in tone. Abrogate. 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 Revoke formally. Abstruse. 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 Difficult to understand. Circumvent. 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 Surround so as to force to give up. Conduit. 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 A passage through which water or electric wires can pass. Contrite. 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 Feeling or expressing pain or sorrow. Convivial. 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 Occupied with or fond of the pleasures of good company. Cupidity. 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 Extreme greed for material wealth. Defunct. 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 No longer in force or use, inactive. Didactic. 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 Instructive, especially excessively. Disaffected. 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 Discontented as toward authority. Eclectic. 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 Selecting what seems best of various styles or ideas. Ephemeral. 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 Anything short-lived, as an insect that lives only for a day. Inure. 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 Cause to accept or become hardened to. Knell. 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 The sound of a bell rung slowly to announce a death. Pueril. 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 Displaying or suggesting a lack of maturity. Aberration. 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 A state or condition markedly different from the norm. Amenable. 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 Disposed or willing to comply. Carouse. 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 Engage in boisterous merrymaking. Contentious. 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 Showing an inclination to disagree. Dirge. 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 A song or hymn of mourning as a memorial to a dead person. Enervate. 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 Weaken physically, mentally, or morally. Fatuous. 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 Devoid of intelligence. Garrulous. 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 Full of trivial conversation. Platitude. 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 A trite or obvious remark. Preponderance. 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 Exceeding in heaviness, having greater weight. Reprieve. 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 Postpone the punishment of a convicted criminal. Truculent. 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 Defiantly aggressive. Virtuoso. 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 Someone who is dazzlingly skilled in any field. Vociferous. 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 Conspicuously and offensively loud. Winsome. 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 Charming in a childlike or naive way. Abjure. 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 Formally reject or disavow a formerly held belief. Adamant. 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 Impervious to pleas, persuasion, requests, or reason. Circumscribe. 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 Draw a geometric figure around another figure. Dearth. 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 An insufficient quantity or number. Demagogue. 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 A leader who seeks support by appealing to popular passions. Duplicity. 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 The act of deceiving or acting in bad faith. Morass. 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 A soft wet area of low-lying land that sinks underfoot. Obdurate. 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 Stubbornly persistent in wrongdoing. Officious. 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 Intrusive in a meddling or offensive manner. Palliate. 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 Lessen or to try to lessen the seriousness or extent of. Predilection. 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 A predisposition in favor of something. Presage. 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 A foreboding about what is about to happen. Surreptitious. 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 Marked by quiet and caution and secrecy. Ubiquitous. 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 Being present everywhere at once. Utilitarian. 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 Having a useful function. Anathema. 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 A formal ecclesiastical curse accompanied by excommunication. Antithesis. 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 Exact opposite. Cajole. 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 Influence or urge by gentle urging, caressing, or flattering. Compunction. 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 A feeling of deep regret, usually for some misdeed. Connive. 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 Form intrigues, for, in an underhand manner. Enfranchise. 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 Grant freedom to, as from slavery or servitude. Equanimity. 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 Steadiness of mind under stress. Inoculate. 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 Inject or treat with the germ of a disease to render immune. Laconic. laconic, laconic. Brief and to the point. Munificent, munificent, munificent. Very generous. Noxious, noxious, noxious. Injurious to physical or mental health. Pert, pert, pert. Characterized by a lightly saucy or impudent quality. Philanthropic, philanthropic, philanthropic. Of or relating to charitable giving. Rife, rife, rife. Excessively abundant. Sobriety, sobriety, sobriety. The state of being unaffected or not intoxicated by alcohol. Alias, alias, alias. A name that has been assumed temporarily. Bereft, bereft, bereft. Lacking or deprived of something. Carp, carp, carp. Any of various freshwater fish of the family Cyprinidae. Cognizant, cognizant, cognizant. Having or showing knowledge or understanding or realization. Disparate, disparate, disparate. Fundamentally different or distinct in quality or kind. Dogmatic, dogmatic, dogmatic. Pertaining to a code of beliefs accepted as authoritative. Empirical, empirical, empirical. Derived from experiment and observation rather than theory. Flagrant, flagrant, flagrant. Conspicuously and outrageously bad or reprehensible. Invective, invective, invective. Abusive language used to express blame or censure. Inveterate, inveterate, inveterate. Habitual. Maverick, maverick, maverick. Someone who exhibits independence in thought and action. Potentate, potentate, potentate. A powerful ruler, especially one who is unconstrained by law. Proscribe, proscribe, proscribe. Command against. Solicitous, solicitous, solicitous. Full of anxiety and concern. Spurious, spurious, spurious. Plausible but false. Bane, bane, bane. Something causing misery or death. Callous, callous, callous. Emotionally hardened. Candor, candor, candor. The quality of being honest and straightforward. Caucus, caucus, caucus. Meet to select a candidate or promote a policy. Cobbler, cobbler, cobbler. A person who makes or repairs shoes. Elegy, elegy, elegy. A mournful poem, a lament for the dead. Gratuitous, gratuitous, gratuitous. Unnecessary and unwarranted. Insidious, insidious, insidious. Working or spreading in a hidden and usually injurious way. Preclude, preclude, preclude. Make impossible, especially beforehand. Relegate, relegate, relegate. Assign to a lower position. Reprobate, reprobate, reprobate. A person without moral scruples. Swarthy, swarthy, swarthy. Naturally having skin of a dark color. Tome, tome, tome. A large and scholarly book. Upbraid, upbraid, upbraid. Express criticism towards. Veracity, veracity, veracity. Unwillingness to tell lies. Bashful, bashful, bashful. Self-consciously timid. Conflagration, conflagration, conflagration. A very intense and uncontrolled fire. Engender, engender, engender. Call forth. Exigent, exigent, exigent. Demanding immediate attention. Expiate, expiate, expiate. Make amends for. Extol, extol, extol. Praise, glorify, or honor. Forbearance, forbearance, forbearance. Good-natured tolerance of delay or incompetence. Hapless, hapless, hapless. Unfortunate and deserving pity. Licentious, licentious, licentious. Lacking moral discipline. Profligate, profligate, profligate. Unrestrained by convention or morality. Promulgate, promulgate, promulgate. State or announce. Requisition, requisition, requisition. An authoritative demand. Subjugate, subjugate, subjugate. Make subservient, force to submit or subdue. Vicissitude, vicissitude, vicissitude. A variation in circumstances or fortune. Wily, wily, wily. Marked by skill in deception. Accost, accost, accost. Approach and speak to someone aggressively or insistently. Affluent, affluent, affluent. Having an abundant supply of money or possessions of value. Alacrity, alacrity, alacrity. Liveliness and eagerness. Complement, complement, complement. Something added to embellish or make perfect. Construe, construe, construe. Make sense of, assign a meaning to. Derivative, derivative, derivative. A compound obtained from another compound. Illicit, illicit, illicit. Call forth as an emotion, feeling, or response. Equivocal, equivocal, equivocal. Open to two or more interpretations. Espouse, espouse, espouse. Choose and follow a theory, idea, policy, etc. Extant, extant, extant. Still in existence, not extinct or destroyed or lost. Ostensible, ostensible, ostensible. Appearing as such but not necessarily so. Pernicious, pernicious, pernicious. Exceedingly harmful. Portent, portent, portent. A sign of something about to happen. Stolid, stolid, stolid. Having or revealing little emotion or sensibility. Vestige, vestige, vestige. An indication that something has been present. Abject, abject, abject. Of the most contemptible kind. Ascetic, ascetic, ascetic. Someone who practices self-denial as a spiritual discipline. Assiduous, assiduous, assiduous. Marked by care and persistent effort. Beguile, beguile, beguile. Influenced by slyness. Calumny, calumny, calumny. A false accusation of an offense. Debauch, debauch, debauch. A wild gathering. Discomfit, discomfit, discomfit. Cause to lose one's composure. Emulate, emulate, emulate. Strive to equal or match, especially by imitating. Foil, foil, foil. Hinder or prevent as an effort, plan, or desire. Inexorable, inexorable, inexorable. Impossible to prevent, resist, or stop. Instigate, instigate, instigate. Provoke or stir up. Intimation, intimation, intimation. A slight suggestion or vague understanding. Maxim, maxim, maxim. A saying that is widely accepted on its own merits. Sanguine, sanguine, sanguine. Confidently optimistic and cheerful. Staid, staid, staid. Characterized by dignity and propriety. Approbation, approbation, approbation. Official acceptance or agreement. Capitulate, capitulate, capitulate. Surrender under agreed conditions. Clamor, clamor, clamor. Utter or proclaim insistently and noisily. Cleave, cleave, cleave. Separate or cut with a tool, such as a sharp instrument. Consign, consign, consign. Give over to another for care or safekeeping. Covet, covet, covet. Wish, long, or crave for. Dispel, dispel, dispel. Cause to separate and go in different directions. Edict, edict, edict. A formal or authoritative proclamation. Evince, evince, evince. Give expression to. Fetter, fetter, fetter. A shackle for the ankles or feet. Impute, impute, impute. Attribute or credit to. Incumbent, incumbent, incumbent. Necessary as a duty or responsibility, morally binding. Injunction, injunction, injunction. A judicial remedy to prohibit a party from doing something. Negligent, negligent, negligent. Characterized by undue lack of attention or concern. Wanton, wanton, wanton. A lewd or immoral person. Arboreal, arboreal, arboreal. Of or relating to or formed by trees. Archetypal, archetypal, archetypal. Of an original pattern on which other things are modeled. Cavort, cavort, cavort. Play boisterously. Debunk, debunk, debunk. Expose while ridiculing. Duress, duress, duress. Compulsory force or threat. Expurgate, expurgate, expurgate. Edit by omitting or modifying parts considered indelicate. Idiosyncratic, idiosyncratic, idiosyncratic. Peculiar to the individual. Inchoate, inchoate, inchoate. Only partly in existence, imperfectly formed. Legerdemain, legerdemain, legerdemain. An illusory feat. Mendacious, mendacious, mendacious. Given to lying. Protean. 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 Taking on different forms. Prurient. 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 Characterized by lust. Semaphore. 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 An apparatus for visual signaling. Tangential. 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 Of superficial relevance, if any. Turpitude. 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 A corrupt or depraved or degenerate act or practice. Accede. 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 Yield to another's wish or opinion. Admonish. 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 Scold or reprimand, take to task. Adverse. 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 In an opposing direction. Advocate. 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 A person who pleads for a person, cause, or idea. Annex. 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 Attach to. Arbitrary. 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 Based on or subject to individual discretion or preference. Constituent. 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 One of the individual parts making up a composite entity. Despot. 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 A cruel and oppressive dictator. Exhort. 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 Spur on or encourage, especially by cheers and shouts. Expedient. 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 Appropriate to a purpose. Impetuous. 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 Characterized by undue haste and lack of thought. Insurgent. 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 In opposition to a civil authority or government. Partisan. 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 A fervent and even militant proponent of something. Quaint. 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 Attractively old-fashioned. Yoke. 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 Join with stable gear as two draft animals. Accretion. 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 An increase by natural growth or addition. Apocryphal. 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 Being of questionable authenticity. Arcane. 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 Requiring secret or mysterious knowledge. Contusion. 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 An injury in which the skin is not broken. Diaphanous. 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 So thin as to transmit light. Embezzlement. 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 The fraudulent appropriation of funds or property. Hegemony. 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 The dominance or leadership of one social group over others. Impecunious. 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 Not having enough money to pay for necessities. Intransigent. 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 Impervious to pleas, persuasion, requests, or reason. Litigant. 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 A party to a lawsuit. Mawkish. 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 Very sentimental or emotional. Ostracism. 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 The act of excluding someone from society by general consent. Paradigm. 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 A standard or typical example. Penurious. 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 Excessively unwilling to spend. Sanctimonious. sanctimonious, sanctimonious, excessively or hypocritically pious. Amorphous, 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 having no definite form or distinct shape. Antediluvian, 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 of or relating to the period before the biblical flood. Bombastic, 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 ostentatiously lofty in style. Camaraderie, 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 the quality of affording easy familiarity and sociability. Circumlocution, 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 an indirect way of expressing something. Disrepute, 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 the state of being held in low esteem. Epistolary, 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 written in the form of letters or correspondence. Gourmand, 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 a person who is devoted to eating and drinking to excess. Grandiloquent, 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 lofty in style. Impinge, 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 infringe upon. Largesse, 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 liberality in bestowing gifts. Obstreperous, 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 noisily and stubbornly defiant. Panacea, 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 hypothetical remedy for all ills or diseases. Pellucid, 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 transparently clear, easily understandable. Toady, 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 a person who tries to please someone to gain an advantage. Ambivalent, 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 uncertain or unable to decide about what course to follow. Arrogate, 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 seize and take control without authority. Aspersion, 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 a disparaging remark. Divisive, 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 causing or characterized by disagreement or unity. Ebullient, 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 joyously unrestrained. Expunge, 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 remove by erasing or crossing out or as if by drawing a line. Iconoclast, 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 someone who attacks cherished ideas or institutions. Incontrovertible, 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 impossible to deny or disprove. Irreverence, 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 a mental attitude showing lack of due respect. Maelstrom, 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 a powerful circular current of water. Modicum, 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 a small or moderate or token amount. Nadir, 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 the lowest point of anything. Paucity, 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 an insufficient quantity or number. Plenitude, 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 a full supply. Zephyr, 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 a slight wind. Abscond, 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 run away, often taking something or somebody along. Blandishment, 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 flattery intended to persuade. Contravene, 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 Go against, as of rules and laws. Amend. 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 Make corrections to. Fractious. 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 Easily irritated or annoyed. Interlocutor. 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 A person who takes part in a conversation. Libertarian. 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 An advocate of freedom of thought and speech. Multifarious. 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 Having many aspects. Neophyte. 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 A participant with no experience with an activity. Noisome. 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 Offensively malodorous. Pertinacious. 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 Stubbornly unyielding. Plethora. 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 Extreme excess. Proclivity. 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 A natural inclination. Quandary. 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 State of uncertainty in a choice between unfavorable options. Recalcitrant. 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 Stubbornly resistant to authority or control. Abnegation. 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 The denial and rejection of a doctrine or belief. Atrophy. 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 A decrease in size of an organ caused by disease or disuse. Debacle. 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 A sudden and complete disaster. Onerous. 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 Burdensome or difficult to endure. Pariah. 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 A person who is rejected from society or home. Penchant. 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 A strong liking or preference. Pithy. 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 Concise and full of meaning. Plaudit. 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 Enthusiastic approval. Pugnacious. 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 Ready and able to resort to force or violence. Remiss. 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 Failing in what duty requires. Scurrilous. 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 Expressing offensive, insulting, or scandalous criticism. Travesty. 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 A composition that imitates or misrepresents a style. Trenchant. 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 Having keenness and forcefulness and penetration in thought. Vilify. 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 Spread negative information about. Vituperate. 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 Spread negative information about. Acumen. 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 Shrewdness shown by keen insight. Antiseptic. 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 Thoroughly clean and free of disease-causing organisms. Concomitant. 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 Following or accompanying as a consequence. Dour. 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 Showing a brooding ill humor. Exacerbate. 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 Make worse. Extraneous. 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 Not belonging to that in which it is contained. Fallacious. 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 Containing or based on incorrect reasoning. Fortuitous. 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 lucky, occurring by happy chance. Maudlin, 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 very sentimental or emotional. Mores, 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 the conventions embodying the fundamental values of a group. Phlegmatic, 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 showing little emotion. Probity, 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 complete and confirmed integrity. Quixotic, 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 not sensible about practical matters. Rescind, 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 cancel officially. Umbrage, 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 a feeling of anger caused by being offended. Aggrandize, 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 embellish, increase the scope, power, or importance of. Apathetic, 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 showing little or no emotion or animation. Cogent, 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 powerfully persuasive. Commensurate, 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 corresponding in size or degree or extent. Egregious, 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 conspicuously and outrageously bad or reprehensible. Evanescent, 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 short-lived, tending to vanish or disappear. Execrable, 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 unequivocally detestable. Inane, 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 devoid of intelligence. Inimical, 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 tending to obstruct or cause harm. Punctilious, 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 marked by precise accordance with details. Redoubtable, 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 inspiring fear. Surfeit, 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 indulge one's appetite to satiety. Tirade, 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 a speech of violent denunciation. Torpid, 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 in a condition of biological rest or suspended animation. Trite, 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 repeated too often, overfamiliar through overuse.